you know, you were leaving behind for your family. Now I want to ask you about your own personal experience, right? You had a small stint in your life where you was a stay-at-home mom. Now, what was your experience? If you're talking to somebody, and let's say somebody's thinking about being a stay-at-home mom, right? What was some advice that you would give them? What would you tell them?
So my experience?
Based on your experience.
So my experience, I was able to stay home with both of my kids for the first year or 2 years of their life. With my daughter, it was 2 years. My son, I stayed home for a year. And I would do it all over again. If I had another kid, I would stay home with them for at least that first year. I understand everybody's not fortunate to be able to do that. So I can't say you should or you absolutely have to do this. I mean, it's if you're able to do it or not. And some people might just have a mindset that they can't because they're used to living, you know, at a certain means, but you actually can. You just have to understand that you're not going to be able to have the same spending habits or, you know, live in the same neighborhood maybe. But yeah, I was able to stay home with them. I enjoyed that. I would do it again. I would just not look at it as a long-term plan unless you are that financially stable, because some moms never want to send their kids off to school. They want to homeschool. And if you want to do that, there's communities out there that are available. There's Facebook groups of moms that also stay at home and they do homeschool and they do play dates. So it's not like your kids will never have friends. They do play dates and things like that. So it's definitely possible. And I think a very fulfilling thing that you can do, especially if you feel safe in your relationship, you know your husband's going to take care of you, or you're just financially set.
I'll say from a man's perspective, if y'all are thinking about figuring out, okay, do we want the wife to stay at home with the kids? It's a great option. I think kids, especially the first year, 2 years, 3 years of their life, develop much better at home. But you have to be mindful and you have to plan things out, especially if you're not making a ton of money. I mean, most of us are not making $1 million, right? So be mindful, plan out your bills, see what y'all have coming up, and just make sure you take those steps to do that. Men, also understand, it don't matter how strenuous your job is. It don't matter how hard you work or how many hours you work. When you get home, your wife is going to say, hey, here's the baby, because she's been at home all day with the baby. She's been dealing with the baby crying, pooping, all that type of stuff, right? So as soon as you get home, just know it don't matter what you had going on. It is now you on baby duty. So just understand, when that happens, be mindful, talk through those things, and make sure that your wife is okay with that. That's a life that she wants to live. And make sure you have those conversations on, hey, are you desiring more? Do you want to get out the house or get a job? Like, how can we do this? How will we do daycare if that's an option that you choose to go through, you know? One last question before we end it. Just a quick thing of how do you think having that first child, how does that affect a marriage? Let's just talk about the initial baby. We'll get into